a mover and a shaker this week because they were having to scrim on the previous patch for the first half of the week, then it drops, now you're on the new one. So yeah. I'm curious, when there's this big of changes in the game, the ability to adapt and adapt quickly is even more important than normal.
And it puts on showcase the value of your coaching staff and your analysts. You know, I've always really liked, ever since we made this change to play on live patch, how it really does reward teams that put effort in trying to figure out what is going to be strong, because I feel like that's very relatable for the everyday League of Legends players that are competitive. You know, you're always trying to find out, oh, what should I abuse on this new patch so I can climb rank?
What's the secret OP?
You know, how can I, yeah, exactly, how can I steal some LP before it gets nerfed by Riot? And one of those is Seraphine Flowers. This is one that I had on my list. This was not on the lounge list, but Seraphine got one of the most OP changes, which is not necessarily fully documented, where she doesn't have to hit the center of champion models anymore, and it can just hit on the edge. So it's really, really easy to get Seraphine's damage out now. And I feel like she is super even more OP than previous. She already was a power pick, but on this patch with that change, I think she is even more valuable. So I think Cloud9 got the better part of the breakup here. Yeah. Obviously they got
the girly pop breakup.
They did get to choose, so it makes sense that they would get the better part. They got the pick first, but they did get it. And they paired the Seraphine with the Ezreal. That got the AP ratios as well. So maybe we'll see some alternate builds here from Zven. Maybe not. Maybe just go with the
could just be standard stuff. Yeah. You never know. But all right, so we're through the first half of the draft. It is Orianna, Pantheon, Bard, and now Xin Zhao banned out by Dignitas, Varus, Anivia, Karma, and Aurora banned out by C9. And we've got our bottom lanes fully decided with the Ashe Lulu versus Seraphine Ezreal, that powerful Seraphine that we're talking about. Jarvan locked in for eXyu, and APA piloting the Annie in this one.
Okay, so they've got their hard engage, they've got their poke damage. I mean, looks pretty good for Cloud9. On the side for Dignitas, also very straightforward, very good. Annie is a champion you can punish with Jarvan. And Ashe arrows, we've seen with the prevalence and the rise of Ashe, what percentage do you think of the arrows in the first like 14 minutes actually go mid lane? I'd say more than 50% of the arrows.
Yeah, I feel like you see it a lot. She recalls and then just shoots it straight down mid.
I think that they're always just taking shots at the mid laners with the early game Ashe arrows at the very least. Annie, of course, with your speed boost, if you have your shield ready, you can make it a bit easier to dodge. So we'll see about that, but they continue down the line here, take out some junglers from Blaber. Blaber has a very deep champion pool. He's not worried at all. I'm quite sure. He streams very frequently and streams all kinds of different champions, and he is one who does jump on new patches very, very quickly and really enjoys the theory crafting aspect of League of Legends. So I'm excited to see what Blaber does pull out with the Xin and the Nocturne both kind of taking the hit there. They could definitely do with some better frontline and some more engage along, so it's not just the Annie on their side. But Dignitas here, nothing out of the ordinary, Flowers. Your Spicy Hot Pot, your Jarvan Rumble combination, and guess what? Seraphine and Annie are both great targets for that. Seraphine is inherently quite squishy, and definitely would be a very good target for that. Jarvan Ultimate, you can go unstoppable, make sure you can get to her and lock her in place for that Rumble Ultimate. But Cloud9, no surprises yet. Thanatos goes with one of the two main tanks that you pick into Rumble.
Yep.
The Ornn further engage we are looking for in the further front line.
Yep, I always like to see an Ornn into a Rumble. Generally, as soon as that Koenig Wukong comes online, you don't really have to worry that much about Rumble anymore. What is Blaber going to settle with? It looks like we're getting Wukong here in the jungle. Final pick for C9.
There you go. Rounded out with some beautiful team fighting. Very big team fight jungler here. Cloud9. This draft to me feels like Cloud9 are saying, we are a better team than you, so we're going to scale into some really easy 5-on-5 team fights and make sure that we kind of like guarantee our win that way.
Meanwhile, on Dignitas, what is our final choice? Okay, the Hwei for Palafox, pick number 5.
Okay, it's got good range, so you can have good isolated matchup here versus Annie, but when Wukong hits level 6 and Annie is level 6, that is a recipe for flashes and kills. So we'll see. Got to stay safe then, but definitely has lots of good range that can follow up on Jarvan Rumble combination. So some pretty good synergies on the Dignitas side as well. And we got some Palafox standing up. Let's get some blood flowing in the legs. You know, Flowers get a little warm up routine.
Ready to go.
Here we go. I like it. Focus up, everybody. Focus up. We got a possible upset on our hands here.
All right, Dignitas.
Game
let's
hasn't
see
started,
it.
so it's possible.
If Dignitas manages to take down Cloud9, okay, theoretically, yeah.
I might also be a Cloud9 2-0 win.
I mean, not even theoretically. I'll predict a 2-0. We don't have a fancy graphic with mine on it, but I'm predicting the same thing. Dignitas is going to have to seriously spoil some people's expectations here. So let's see how our opening is going to start.
Okay, so they actually did one of these common openings a lot of times now with the new season. Hold on, we got a comms listening.
Hello, hello? You think T9 is thinking they're gonna stomp us today?
I think they're nervous, bro.
You think so?
I actually think so.
Well, I'm nervous too.
What are you nervous about, bro? What are you nervous about?
The wrath of Zven.
Zven doesn't seem very wrathful.
No, he's chilling, bro. He's having a great time.
I do like that though. eXyu's like, yeah, they're nervous. Because honestly, if you were to get upset by Dignitas, yeah, you'd have to answer to Dominanero, I would think, in the the Cloud9 review room. But let's see what they can get done in the early game. What I was about to talk about was a very common strategy now with the new season and the game starting so much earlier is all these mid laners opening to bottom lane to walk through and see if they can get an early trade for a lot of these, you know, poke heavy, harassment heavy bottom lanes where we're seeing this like arms race bottom lane of, you know, laning power, and it doesn't amount to anything this time around. Of course, we saw like the end of it where APA is trying to walk back to mid lane, but that was about it. And Palafox tried to get a little bit of harassment, but APA doing a good job pushing up and dodging some spells here for the trade. Nice little electrocute trade for Palafox there as he walks forward onto it.
And you can see both junglers.
APA, excuse me.
Both junglers started in their top quadrants here in this first game, so both of them clearing through their second buffs right now. Moving towards the bottom lane, I'll be interested to see if they want to try to make any sort of a play happen, or if we're just going to get the full clear game.
Yeah, definitely full clear game looks very good for Wukong, for Blaber here especially. And since they did have the ward on Raptors, they knew that it's also the exact pack there for eXyu. But a standout player for Cloud9 Flowers, we are a 4-game deathless streak for Vulcan. And funnily enough, he has not been voted player of the game for any of these games. Very suspicious.
Who's been voting on these?
Interesting.
These guys might be bums.
We did go investigate, though. Our stats guy, Liam, went to APA's Discord talking about Vulcan, how well Vulcan's been doing, and how crazy his KDA is and not dying. And APA was like, he's a KDA player. This guy is always trying to bait other people into dying by playing Bard and telling them, if you take the Bard portal into the fountain at the end of the game, I'll take it also. And then he just never takes it.
Well, he's not on the Bard in this one. We'll see. Maybe he can bait people into a crazy Seraphine encore or something like that.
Go walk in front of me into the fountain so I can bounce my ult off your head.
Yeah, exactly. Be the conduit.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the vessel? That was the word that Ezreal wanted to, or was it Jet? Somebody was talking about vessels.
So the vessel would have to like contain it and kind of take it forward. I think we still got to workshop that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see if he can hit any big ultis as we go further into the game right now. But so far, no plays being made by either side. The full clear game is the name of it here in the jungle. As you can see, Blaber back out onto the map, clearing through his Raptors here for the second time. eXyu's going to be doing just about the same thing. Both of them had very similar first recalls, first purchases, so really not a whole lot to write home about in the first 5 minutes.
Personally, I like Conduit the most.
Conduit? Oh,
yeah,
Conduit's a good one.
For someone you bounce the Seraphine ult off their head of your teammates.
Yeah,
Because they're conducting, it's, you know, the electricity of the ultimate through there.
Okay.
Similar principles.
I was with you until you're just talking about Seraphine electricity. I don't know about that one.
Gotta plug your mic in somewhere.
Yep, all right, fair enough. Gotta make sure you got a battery for your
Seraphine, Ezreal on the bottom side. Poke damage doing pretty well. Pushing again here on the reset. Nice little farming for themselves so far.
Ignore.
Okay.
Spot on the heel there. Zven and FBI trading back and forth pretty heavily. Zven wants to go in. Ignar has to use both summoner spells, getting away for now. C9 still hanging around, but a nice gank comes in from eXyu. Immediate wombo combo for the first blood, and the Jarvan is on the board. Nicely played from DIG.
Really good vision toggle by the observers too. We saw eXyu as he was kind of finishing and walking over and just slipping in for a lane gank into these volatile lanes, Flowers. This arms race of laning power that has occurred in the bottom lane. It is very effective when your support is able to bait out the flash and, use his flash to trade really heavily. If you have that type of communication with your jungler, hey, you know, I'm in the area, I'm on the way, trying to look juicy. Sometimes people refer to it, trying to bait them, trying to get a heavy trade, and then eXyu goes in there with the EQ flash to make sure that, the ward had just expired too. Wow, that may have given Cloud9 some false sense of confidence, but Ignar did blow his flash there to get away, and since they knew he can just go for it, EQ flash to get the knock-up and close the distance. Nicely done from eXyu.
This is what I would always, when I was playing solo queue games, I would always tell my teammates, make him think you're stupid.
Yeah.
Go just do something silly. Do something silly. Meanwhile, back over here in the mid lane now, APA could be in some trouble. The Spiraling Despair brings him down to 150.
And you say that because you know me, I'm your teammate, I'm not stupid. But I could make them think that I am.
Yes, pretend, make believe.
Yeah, pretend that you're really bad at this game. It's gonna take a lot for me to do that, Flowers.
Make them wonder why you guys are even queued up in the same match together.
Yeah.
Pretend like you're 600 elo lower than you're supposed to be.
Oopsies.
My bad, guys. Well, Dignitas is going to be happy about this early start here. Back over in mid, like I'm saying, it was very low for APA, but not actually enough to threaten anything lethal. Still has the flash available on the Annie. Considering all our solo laners are now level 7, I'm looking forward to seeing when we're going to have more plays being made.
Okay, well, no flash still on Ignar and no flash on eXyu. And sometimes we do give extra, credit for even if you happen to have played poorly, but it ends up baiting someone in. It's like, oh yeah, meant to do that the entire time.
For sure.
All along, for sure. But because of it, and the push down here, still going to be able to grab Dragon, and level 6 for Blaber Wukong. Level 7 there for eXyu ticking over. And so junglers are fairly close in experience with a very slight lead there for eXyu, as Blaber has to finish his Gromp. Will he be able to finish the Gromp in time? Looks like he's going to get there just as eXyu walks by.
Ooh.
And he yoinks it!
Nice from eXyu, stealing that one away. Keeps Blaber at level 6 here on the Wukong, so eXyu has a decided advantage, but APA can rotate over if eXyu overstays his welcome.
But he has to wait for another charge of Smite if he wants to really go for that blue. Blaber doesn't have his charge, but it's coming up fairly shortly.
The battle for the blue buff. Both sides sending reinforcements, but it looks like C9 is going to retain control for now. The attention towards the blue buff, however, did allow Dignitas to get the wave crashed into the tier 1 turret, and you can see FBI taking the first plate.
Yeah, extra plate money, drop a couple CS there. You're going to draw a little bit of attention further into the jungle from both lanes. Slight collapse. Meanwhile, rotate on up to the grubs. Tibbers dropped again. Get the push, get a little chunk. And everything's staying pretty calm aside from the early flash on bottom.
Okay, Grub's being picked up. eXyu's in charge of that. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Ignar taken very low, down to about 50 HP. Got to be careful on this one as Blaber arrives into the fight. FBI trying to get something back, but it will not work. Blaber picks up the kill, and C9 make their way onto the board.
As every bottom laner always said, bot lane is jungle diff.
Yep.
Your jungler
All
comes
the laners
down.
say that.
Yeah, no, literally.
Bot lane is jungle diff, mid lane is jungle diff, top lane is very jungle diff.
I mean, honestly, even junglers love saying that too, as long as you're the one doing the diff.
Yeah, if you're the guy that's doing way better, it's like, yeah, this whole game was a jungle diff. Don't worry about it.
You get one gank bot for eXyu, kill. One gank bot for Blaber, kill. I like it. Some parity here.
Yeah.
Even though we have first place team versus the last place team. So our early intro of the possible upset on our hands still very much alive.
It was Dignitas to strike first, remember? Z9 keeping things nice and competitive. And right there, we were talking a little bit about this back in draft. You mentioned how Ornn is one of those two tanks alongside K'Sante that is very frequently picked into Rumble. It's not like he counters Rumble, but he survives just fine. And then once you get this item, thank you, MasterCard, Koenig Rookhorn just makes it so easy to trade back into him. You don't really feel that pressure anymore from the Flame Spitter.
Yeah, I mean, it's universally so good. Double AP lanes, kind of like you're setting up there, just as the Landry's getting finished. So Thanatos is up in CS as we get another jungle fight over the Gromp.
Yeah.
Gimme.
eXyu really wants these Gromps. He is constantly trying to keep the pressure on Blaber whenever he's clearing through this part of the jungle, just wanting to make his presence known, have a little bit of extra pressure on the map, and it is making C9 respond. Zven and Vulcan have to be hyper aware of what eXyu's doing, making sure that Blaber can continue his pace, continue his own tempo. eXyu will now head back into the red side of the jungle for Big Dig.
Yeah, honestly, good attempt. I like trying to keep using the pressure of your pushing bottom lane to invade on Grops. Even though eXyu didn't get this one and Blaber does get the smite on this one, you keep up the pressure and you also let your bottom lane keep, poking under turret and trying to play for some tower plate money because you're keeping track of the presence of the Wukong in addition to looking for the steal here with your kind of aggressive placement. But off that Gromp and off the farming here for Blaber. Now he's up to the Trinity Force on Wukong. So Flash and Trinity Force and Ultimate is the Wukong recipe for success here in the mid game.
So where do we want to see him take that?
Personally, I like playing to either Seraphine ults, Ornn ults, or Annie ults. So Flowers, that is
you can kind of go anywhere. That's you kind of just said pick your destination. Go on vacation anywhere. It'll be great. eXyu once again trying to invade though, contest some of these jungle camps. Blaber will make sure that he secures the large chicken as FBI and Ignar continue running the show down here in the bottom lane. Vulcan and Zven firing back. Injured health bars on both sides. Maybe bottom lane is the destination.
Maybe.
Everybody's looking pretty gankable.
Vulcan down here, we did say, still deathless in his 5th game, doing very well for Cloud9. He's a huge fantasy points earner as well because of the stats, and we'll see if it continues in this game. Seraphine, of course, a fairly squishy champion, and Dignitas comp definitely are built to punish a low mobility kind of squishy support. But Dragon stacking is still been going quite well for Cloud9. They have the reset from Zven. He came back with his Trinity Force, so Cloud9 ready to fight this. APA on Brush here.
Yeah, Dignitas on the approach, though. They don't just want to let this one go for free. Keep your eyes on eXyu. APA immediately with the engage. Chunks the Jarvan down below half HP. The Dragon still very low, but not dead just yet. eXyu falls first. APA taking the kill on that one as the Drake does go C9's way. It's a 1-for-1 so far. FBI looking for a little bit more. Zven very low on HP here, and the Severing Bolt secures it. Nicely done. Dignitas are going to get a 2-for-1 in the fight.
I like the killer instinct here from FBI to just keep the chase up. He pops his Ghost. He gets the Lulu speed up, chases them down with the slow. So one Dragon for +1 on kills, Flowers. It's still pretty worrisome for Dignitas just because Cloud9 teamfight is going to be so good later on, and them building towards a Dragon Soul might be very difficult to deal with. Even Chemtech Soul, some people don't like it, but it's quite good with a Seraphine on your team. So APA, the idea, he wanted to go for enemy jungle early so that they could get extra pressure on him, and the Dragon down there still with 900 smites for both junglers. They were able to kill eXyu before it got down, or excuse me, 1K. Now it is, before it could get down to the 1K smiteable range, and so Cloud9 focus on killing enemy jungler. They do that, they get the Dragon, but giving over some extra money here into the hands of the Hwei, into Palafox himself.
Yep.
Pretty nice for him, and he's going with the new boots in addition to his Blackfire Torch being completed. So If you can stack those things up, will be quite nice for Dignitas, for Palafox. He is about the gold lead himself. The 1,000 gold lead is basically in the hands of the Hwei power.
Yeah, top lane and jungle, pretty much non-existent differences between those roles. Bottom lane, you've got about a 1-kill gold advantage for FBI over Zven, but also the same the other direction for Vulcan over Ignar. So it's up to Palafox. Can the genius midfielder pilot this individual advantage into some big plays for the team? Right now, C9's going to go ahead, start up. Nothing. Dignitas are the ones taking the Rift Herald first, as Thanatos down here in the bottom lane, just going to keep on farming, get this thing shoved up. Photon using the equalizer to clear out the wave as Blaber wraps around, but Photon does get back in time. Won't find himself ganked here just yet, but considering C9 is overloading this bottom side, top side of the map, Rift Herald, free and clear for Dignitas.
Yep, going for a trade here. Nice weak side rumble play as well from Photon.
Yep.
As he shot it out, clear the wave, buy some extra time. So that buys you another 30 seconds. Every little wave here, and immediately going to drive the Herald into mid. Nothing really is there for Cloud9 to be able to stop them. So Dignitas just pushing this gold lead ahead very nicely. First tower is so nice once again on this season. So nice little balloon snowball here for Dignitas.
I mean, honestly, first 16 minutes of the game, you're up 2,000 gold over one of the undefeated teams. I feel like this is a great first 16 minutes for Dig. Certainly is.
And Palafox, when I interviewed him, he did say the team was really focused on improving their team fights from the previous week. He also, mentioned his own Azir play from last week. Quite obviously, very well aware of the improvements necessary there. So Dignitas, I think, heads are in the right place, and they have the capabilities this game. Ashe, Arrow, and Jarvan, with Jarvan Ultimate, they have the ability to continue to force the fights on their terms. It's just that you always have this in the back of your head. A team fight later with a Seraphine and people getting Ornn upgraded items fairly shortly as well for Cloud9 provides a lot of value. And Thanatos already has his own upgrade, and so he's going to be able to hand them out quickly. APA, though, might be under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Ignar and eXyu looking for an angle here. APA going to continue trying to walk back to safety. Does avoid the initial Jarvan combo. Still trying to escape the pressure coming in from Dignitas, but eXyu's ready to full send it, and he takes the kill immediately before C9 can do anything in response.
Ignar just going to self-ult as well, make sure he doesn't give over a counter kill. Nicely done. Dignitas, play after play after play, Flowers. They really have been in the driver's seat. If not for the early dragon stacking for Cloud9, they've really got it under control. And Cloud9 have to start being a little bit careful, too, with their mid-tower down. The reason it's such a big focus, you lose a lot of control for both sides of your jungle, and eXyu still camping on the bottom side of the map. Thanatos is quite tanky, though, so.
Yeah. The dragon spawning in less than 10 seconds now. Equalizer still down, Cataclysm still down. Dignitas really does not want to allow C9 to make it to Soul Point.
And they're at a really good break point right now, where Palafox was able to finish his Horizon focus, so 2-item power spike for the Hwei, and nobody on Cloud9 is up to 2 items for this dragon fight, so it's a really optimal time for Dignitas to force the fight. And Cloud9 look like they still want to keep on the early dragon timer anyway, so they're going to bully their way in. They have Annie and Ornn. Can they get someone to wrap around? Because those are kind of short. Oh, teleport top. They're giving it away. So Dignitas make the call. Fine, we are leaving.
I mean, they have no ultimates. The only ultimate available is Palafox. Everybody else still has a little bit of time left to go on the cooldown as APA makes the engage. Big ulti there for the Palafox, and the shutdown comes through for Zven. The Fed Hwei dies immediately. C9 moves to Soul Point. FBI has to flash just to make sure he doesn't fall as well.
Oh, wasn't the call for sure just give this up when you're teleporting your Rumble away from it?
I mean, it has to be.
They were sticking around. They wanted to, get some poke or something, and Hwei just full comboed the Wukong clone. Blaber had pretty good reactions, and Blaber just clones forward past the dragon. And APA is like, oh, great. wrap around and get a kill while you guys are watching our dragon. So this definitely puts a wrinkle in the master plan of the Dignitas upset. Yeah. So we're going to look at it again. So as we see wrap around here, he's going to try and go for Blaber. They have vision on him, but Blaber is ready with the clone. And so he just clones away from it, and then APA is there with the punish. Also, just great angle and snipe here from Zven, and flashing over that wall is not going to get you to safety because Zven had the angle for the Ezreal ult here. So that just turned this game from a lot of good moves had been made by Dignitas for the first 18-ish minutes, 17, 18 minutes for them. That one, it puts so much pressure though. I mean, Dragon Soul going to be happening really early. As we said, the Ornn upgrades going to start coming through, and so the team fight does get a lot more dicey for Dignitas now that they haven't been able to keep up their momentum.
And I feel like moments like that so often define top teams versus bottom teams, right? The bottom teams can get individual leads. They can build themselves advantages in the game, but you've really got to be able to lock in those clutch moments. And right there, that was a big fumble from Dignitas. Again, what you pointed out with, as soon as the teleport happens, why are we still hanging out around here?
I mean, he thought, oh, maybe we can get this super, super lucky optimal play where I burst Wukong and you put a ton of maybe they thought they could actually kill him, and then there's a chance that you randomly steal the dragon. Regardless,
feels like a lot of ifs.
Obviously not ideal for them, and so Cloud9, what seemed like their plan is in full motion here. They're
Ooh, eXyu, immediate flash. Cataclysm comes out, but where's the rest of the team? eXyu just gives it away mid lane.
Well, they did send the Rumble ult. That was in the picture. They did the spicy hot pot, but that was all that was about it.
Definitely did not feel fully organized there.
Yeah, they didn't have the rest of the damn.
I'm really curious what the communication was like in that moment, because eXyu clearly wanted to full send it, but everybody else just was not present.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe you can look at the comms, but I would say if you're the one forcing it, yeah, even though you're like, oh, well, the Hwei was all the way still back in our jungle, I'm just one that I'm usually like, well, if my... yeah. I mean, why do we even talk? We should just let APA do it for us. There you go.
Even by APA standards, that's pretty toxic.
So I was about to say, in that case, I would put the blame on the one who's doing the flash engage, because you kind of got to do your last second checks. You're like, oh, all right, I'm gonna do my snap engage. Where's all my people at? Where's my damage? And so the Hwei was down here when he did that, and so he was coming this way, but Rumble, of course, could cast the ult, but they didn't have the full weaponry available.
Nope, they certainly did not, and now there is less than 60 seconds on the clock until Dragon Soul arrives. If C9 gets this, it's such a massive power infusion. You already mentioned how, yeah, Chemtech Soul is generally not one of the ones that you would be excited to see, but you've got a Seraphine, you've got a strong front line in the Ornn and the Wukong. This is still going to be just massive up and to the right in terms of the power graph. I'm concerned for Dignitas.
Valid, sir.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
I'm here to validate your feelings and concerns.
Thank you. I feel validated. I feel vindicated. I feel seen. I feel heard.
I think everyone is going to be right there with you for the next 15 seconds here leading up to this dragon. Let's see if there's any poke damage done.
Yeah, the Ornn has already been summoned. Thanatos with a flash. They're full sending on to FBI, and he's already down. Blaber's going to take the first kill. As eXyu is about to die, he tries to escape, but APA still has enough damage to take him out. It's a 2-for-0 for C9. One of them's the enemy jungler. Zven nearly getting caught on the very back end of the fight, burning low from the equalizer, but not quite dead just yet. Sidesteps the severing bolt, hits him with the Papega frog, eats some honey fruit. C9 are chilling.
Good emo casting.
Yeah, it's important.
And I don't know if it's too mean to say, but it's that's how you do a mid lane engage right there. That was just sick from Thanatos. He sees the angle here onto FBI. and they just CC lock him. FBI, let me look at the, let me rewind it a little bit. Did his flash might have had a couple seconds left on the cooldown. Sometimes, yeah. Oh man, I'm going back through it now because like the flash is up now, but it still had a little timer of flash cooldown left on the Ashe. So yeah, that is good flash timings from Cloud9. You know, this is one of the basics of the game at pro level, but like keeping the good flash timer, and then Thanatos says, great, we have, you know, 15 seconds to work with, no flash on this Ashe. He's right against the wall. He's gonna stay against the wall. Goes with the ult into the flash. Ah, really good little combo there from Cloud9, and as you said, an easy soul.
Yeah, they've got the soul. They've got Ornn items coming in all over the place now. You've got the upgraded one for the Ornn himself. I believe, hold on, as soon as our scoreboard comes back here in just a second, that the Muramana for Zven is also upgraded. And then Trinity Force for Blaber. FBI going in, trying to find the damage here onto the Ezreal. Can't quite kill him just yet, and the Seraphine keeps him alive yet again. C9 trying to fight back now as Blaber is shut down. Photon's going to take the first kill, but Thanatos on the left side of the fight is a problem. APA wrapping around from behind, finds the angle. Photon barely staying alive. Dignitas getting away for now. It's a 1-for-1 FBI for Blaber.
Okay, what can they do afterwards here? No jungler for Cloud9, but they still have the Chemtech Soul, and they can push in on this tower. Zven is right back up to full health almost. And they're going to be able to get the tower in the aftermath as well. Chemtech Soul, that damage reduction really helped there. Yeah. As he was burning down, and they turn it around for the counter engage. But here's another look at it. And I've liked FBI this whole game. Has had a pretty good eye for setting up a lot of these aggressive plays. Puts a ton of pressure on Zven, and with the Rumble ultimate, they get his flash out too. Actually then tries to follow it up, but they couldn't get back to Zven, and Blaber goes for the counter engage to kind of sacrifice here and keep the pressure off Zven, and then with Vulcan and Zven in the back line, sustaining through this, they're able to work it forward. Thanatos has just been a monster.
Yeah, this guy's one of the top performers in the league for a reason, right? It just feels like him and Vulcan specifically have stood out to me so much over the last couple of weeks of Cloud9 games. And now it's C9 setting up shop here in the topside river, looking around the Baron pit. Thanatos, he'll get back out of the brush. He's not really super concerned about the little rumble damage.
If there is some hope for Dignitas here, well, no arrow now and some poke damage being sustained here by eXyu. But there's no flash on Zven or on Vulcan flank.
Yeah, APA over the wall immediately just drops the combo onto Palafox. True Shot Barrage rushes in right alongside the Ornn. eXyu now going to be the next target. He's stunned up inside his own Cataclysm, staying alive for now, tries to flash away, but it will not work. It's a 1-for-1 as APA also falls. Dignitas seeing if there's anything else they might be able to find here, but C9 are going to exfiltrate.
Yeah, good damage still from Dignitas over the wall here. Hwei damage is able to pop them. Wait a minute.
Zven, he's playing on the edge there a little bit, FBI. Okay. I'm curious if we're actually going to see this get full sent or not, because I feel like neither side really wants to go all in here.
Yeah, FBI does have his ghost pop, so he's trying to make use of his speed. He's dodging a lot of skill shots here, but he doesn't quite have his IE done.
Yeah. Okay, Photon stepping up, takes a bunch of damage. Zven has to arcane shift backwards, keeping himself alive for now. True Shot Barrage goes through. Nice Jarvan to FBI. Blaber takes the kill with the enemy AD carry down. C9 is on the attack. Tries to use the smite there. Blaber cannot quite catch up to Photon though. Blast Cone's gonna guarantee that Dignitas won't lose anybody else, but that's another kill for free.
Another kill, chase down. They also have plenty of vision secured over the Baron, so after resetting, they can get right back out to this area of the map. Still, there's a top outer tower, so maybe push down on top side first. But things looking very good here for Cloud9, of course, with this Dragon Soul. Dignitas, though, props to them but for keeping the gold fairly close at the very least. Even with the Dragon Soul going over to Cloud9. And now the IE is done for FBI. It's definitely going to be difficult for them, but still keeping up a lot of the damage output.
And I want to check back in on something we were talking about at the beginning of the game, because Vulcan has still not died this game, and he has 100% kill participation with all of them being assists. This is a perfect support performance thus far as Dignitas arrived to the topside river. They want to try to answer the Baron attempt coming out from C9. Baron down to about 3,000 HP. eXyu wants to go in, look for the angle here with the steal, but FBI is already down to 1/3 HP. Blaber goes on a killing spree. eXyu is dead. Thanatos eating a ton of damage from the focus fire from the Ashe. Manages to get himself away for now. Zven still firing. Equalizer's not going to get anybody, so C9 will take 1 kill plus the Baron.
Okay, some control there for Cloud9. They stopped the Baron damage at like 2.7 thousand here, so eXyu not able to finish it off or anything. Goes in, wants to be close enough for a steal, but does not get low enough. Nice little focus there from Cloud9. They just turn on him, take out the enemy jungle, secure the objective flowers, and they still got that top turret afterwards as well, so progressing the game quite nicely towards Dignitas' turrets.
Yep, and here's the problem, Mr. Kobe. eXyu's still dead for the next 5 seconds. That's about the same amount of time till the Elder Dragon spawns. If C9 gets an Elder Dragon, with Dignitas not being able to do anything about it, I feel like the game, it is well and truly cooked at that point.
Yeah, all right. Cloud9 cooking all right. What can they do with it? Now trying to move some of their vision over towards this area by the Elder. Blaber gonna push on bottom too, so the Baron buff for 1 split for Cloud9, gonna keep the pressure up. Bot side turret also gonna take some damage. Nice little chunk here.
Yep.
Blaber gets some plate money as well.
Arrow hits Blaber. Follow-up from eXyu is there. Blaber already down to half HP. Drops the Cyclone, trying to get himself away to safety as the rest of C9 swoops through. Equalizer dropping over the top, but Blaber's still staying alive for now. Pressure into the back line from Thanatos with a nice 2-man knock-up. It's a double kill for APA, and Dignitas are scattered. Photon cannot get away from Zven. One more auto attack's gonna take him out. Killing spree for the C9 AD carry. I don't even think we're gonna need an Elder Dragon on this one. It is a 5 versus 2, and C9 are kicking in the doors to the base. Bottom inhibitor already gone. Nexus turrets under fire. APA and the rest of C9 found it all too easy to end the game right there. As soon as Dignitas went for Blaber, they did not have enough gas in the tank. Game 1 goes to C9.
Yeah, you saw all the long-range nukes from Cloud9 just taking out the enemy Ashe. FBI doesn't get to move, and all these bombs come flying over the top. Cloud9, cool, calm, and collected, are going to take game number 1, and Vulcan still deathless!
Still deathless.
0-0-13!
Craziness. Lounge, how are we feeling?
Can Vulcan